Dan Illman, Matt Burney are taking a look at race number 10 on the opening day Saturday card at Gulfstream Park. It's Claiming Crown Saturday. This race, the Emerald. It's a $125,000 pot. We're going a mile and a 16th on the turf. Place to bet, it's DRF Bets, because when you sign up at bets.drf.com, you receive a 300% deposit match. Here's the field for the Claiming Crown Emerald, and you've got some salty old-timers in this field. Aquaphobia isn't a senior citizen. He is a hard-hitting 5-year-old, and this horse, let's just consider this, was 4-1 in a graded stakes race last time out at Belmont. He found that competition a little bit too tough. But boy, he's going to appreciate the class relief, you would think, on Saturday, and he has run some fast races this year.
Yeah, you know, he's going to be one of those horses on Saturday that there are going to be a number of horses that run in these Claiming Crown races that on paper look like they just absolutely lay over the field. I feel like Aquaphobia kind of fits that mold a little bit, but at the same time, you know, let's call a spade as well. He has faced more difficult horses, no question about it. The Almanars, Ticonderogas, Black Types of the world, High Happy, but I don't think he is a slam dunk by any stretch of the imagination. Coming from off the pace at Gulfstream, I think he's the most likely winner, but at the same time, I wouldn't be rushing to the windows to bet him at too short a price.
Jason Service has rejuvenated the number 8 Montclair. Ever since returning this horse to the weeds, he has won 5 of his last 6 races, being disqualified and placed second in one of those races, but he's won 4 in a row. And he just destroyed a weak field in the Meadowlands last time out by 12 lengths. A couple of horses have come out of that race to win lesser races, but Montclair's feeling good right now. This is a horse that early in his career wanted to go about 2 miles. He's found himself at these middle distances.
Yeah, he certainly has, and like you say, most recent blowout winner. That was an impressive effort, albeit over soft ground, but 2 starts back over firm going. He was equally as impressive, and he came from even farther off of it. He checks a lot of boxes in this spot. Again, throw out Service at your own risk. I think he makes plenty of sense in here.
Slim Shady was trained by Service, was claimed away from Service by Michael Maker, who's done so well in the Claiming Crown over the years. He was claimed by Maker 3 starts back. They threw him in a tough grade 3 going a mile and a half. He got wired that day. Might have been in too tough, might have been slightly pace compromised. Last time out in an allowance race at Keeneland, I thought that trip didn't work out at all. Looked like he got blind switched a bit, back to last, turning into the stretch, altered course widest, and it was too little too late. Winner of that race came back to run second behind Mr. Misunderstood in a graded stakes race with a 96 buyer. Slim Shady fits on his best with these horses, and in Maker I trust.
Yeah, again, no real knock about this horse. He's in the similar mold to Aquaphobia. He's just about 5 years older. But look, from a form standpoint, there's really nothing to knock about this horse. He shows up and runs each and every time. You know what you're going to get. I think he would appreciate a little bit of pace, but the good news is I don't think he has to come from 100 out of it. I think he can come from a little bit sort of more mid-pack, and you brought it up, big changes. He came back and ran quite well, so I think Slim Shady's a major player.
There should be some pace in this race, and Timeform US agrees as we throw up the pace projector. Big red bar indicates a fast pace. The 1 Bird's Nest Party has been on the lead in his last 3 races, and Slim Shady's uncoupled stablemate, the number 4 Superfast, they've just adopted in his last 3 races run and gun tactics, so it's quite possible that these 2 hook up early. Let's start with Bird's Nest Party, who popped a 91 buyer last time out. He did so over soft going when able to walk on the lead. Tougher situation perhaps on Saturday.
Certainly, and I can't help but notice that was the first time this horse really ran on testing ground, and that was far and away the best race of his career from a figure standpoint. I think you get back to firm going, or firmer going anyway. I think you can, I don't want to say regress, but I think you go back to sort of that low 80 kind of range.
Maker off the claim, always dangerous. Super Fast had a 2-race win streak snapped last time out when going fast on the lead. A little bit disappointed, though, at 7-10 that he blew that lead. I'm assuming he's going to be sent. He has won from Offutt in the past, but he's just been rejuvenated as a speed horse.
I think you have to send, not only because that seems to be his best running style, but from that 14 post, if you're gonna save any sort of ground with a horse that has some speed, you have to be aggressive. I would imagine even if they do send, he's still going to be 2 or 3 wide going into the first turn, but I think that's the only chance he has to save any kind of ground.
Todd Pletcher and Mike Rapoli must love Driven by Thunder. This is the 3rd stint under Pletcher's care. He's claimed this horse twice. He originally started out with Todd. Last time out at Belmont, I don't think he liked the yielding ground that day. I'm willing to give him a mulligan for that race. He's run okay at Gulfstream in the past, but he's another horse that likes to be forwardly placed, and if this pace is fast, it might leave him a little bit tired in the stretch.
Yeah, again, if things heat up, that could certainly work against him. But you brought up, I mean, he's 4 for 5 at Gulfstream. He clearly likes this turf course, and the connections clearly have an affinity for him. They like him. They've brought him back on 3 different occasions. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of trip he works out because, again, drawing where he did, there's going to be speed basically on both sides of him, and his game is speed. I will say he did show, going back to that race in April down at Gulfstream, the ability to sit just off. I'm not suggesting he's going to come from 3 or 4 off of it, but I think he's going to be forwardly placed. If those other ones want to go, maybe he tucks in just behind.
Bold rally claimed by Armando de la Cerda. If you look at the bottom of your PPs, 28% over the last year and a half off the claim. He's got a good formulator fact as well. Here's the fact for Bold Rally over the past year. Older turf horses off the claim, 25% winners, 251 ROI. Might get the right pace set up. I just hated the field he was in against last time.
Yeah, and I have to be honest with you, the only thing that would draw me to a horse like this is the De La Cerda claim, because recent form, there's just not a heck of a lot to write home about. I look at him and say, you know what, if De La Cerda can turn him around, I'll tip my cap, but I don't like him.
Todd Pletcher used to have the 4, Your Only Man. He was claimed out of his race 2 starts back at Saratoga by Marcus Vitali. The horse scored in his first start for this barn. Here's a formulator fact for Vitali. Past year, older last out winners on the turf. 29% winners, $6.08 ROI. He's taken a big step up in class, but this horse is really consistent and likes the course.
And at least he's in good form. Hopefully second off the bench if he takes a step forward. It'll be interesting to see what you get from him. He's going to need to up his game from a Timeform US standpoint, from a buyer's standpoint. That win in that N1X race, that puts him right there.
Salute the Colonel's the kind of horse that I could use underneath in this race. In his most recent start at Gulfstream West, he just didn't get any pace in that million turf preview. That Galleon Mast is a pretty nice horse in his own right, but they went 25-50 and he was trying to rally from last. Forget it. He also likes Gulfstream a lot more than Gulfstream West, and his prior efforts have him right there.
Yeah, and like you say, he would appreciate that hot pace that the pace projector is thinking is going to end up taking place. And you're right, those runs 2 and 3 starts back, those put him right here back at Maine Gulfstream.
Love Conquers was no match for Your Only Man last time out, but let's be honest, that was a pretty promising effort for his first start since February. It's quite possible this shrewd barn was using that race as merely a prep for this, and he has shown the ability to sit and finish in the past.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with that. If you think all of a sudden you're looking at a race similar to what you had 3 starts back where you're in that 87 buyer, if he's sitting on one of those kind of efforts, you know he's got some tactical ability. He can be relatively close and get the jump on the deep closers. I think he's interesting at a big price.
While DeRocher is 30-1, listen, he was third in this race last year at 61-1 and then came back to win the Tropical Park Derby and be competitive in a graded stakes race. After that, things didn't go right. But last time out again, you get the feeling that was a little bit of a prep race. He ran at the end. He's going to go second off the layoff while stretching out to a comfortable distance. I wish he was doing a little bit more from a fig standpoint in recent starts, but he does have it in him at a price.
Yeah, he's got the class here that many of these other horses outside of the logical ones don't necessarily have. The problem for him, it feels like he's not quite what he once was. And what he once was would have made him a square contender in here. What he is currently, I think, is a fringe contender.
Uncle B won his first 3 starts off the claim. And I don't know what happened last time out. I just simply cannot find an excuse as the 7-5 favorite. If someone wants to tell me he just hates the Gulfstream Park West configuration and is going to love moving back 8 miles or so to Gulfstream, great. But boy, that was just a discouraging race for me.
That was the only thing that I could throw out there as a possibility, is that he just genuinely hates that turf course. But again, that just feels like kind of a weak excuse. He did no running whatsoever. If you get back to his races from late spring, early summer, then yeah, he's got a big chance. But I can't bet him off that last effort.
Who's your drama? Never off the board in 2018, coming into this race off a mini 2-race win streak, and he scored at Gulfstream Park West, which has not been his favorite turf course in the past. This horse has got enough tactical speed where he can stay close. He's another in a wide array of longer priced horses in this race that can easily crack the board and make your exotics.
100%. He has that ability to be sort of mid-pack or even be a little bit closer. Doesn't have to come from way out of it. If he's one that can get the jump on the deep closers and still have some finish late, he's interesting at a big price as well.
Fun race, the Emerald. Let's take a look at our top picks. You're going with the class-dropping Aquaphobia. Listen, he's run buyers of 97, 96, 94, 93 this year, and he was just in too tough last time.
Yeah, and you know what? Again, it's one of those instances where I don't totally trust him in a race like this, but let's also be fair. This is a pretty salty race. There's a number of good old hard hitters in here. I feel like his best race is better than anyone else's best. If we get that, I think he wins. If we don't get that, then he's probably going to have to settle for a minor award.
Slim Shady's got a ton of back class. I thought he was troubled last time out. That race has come back pretty live. I think he's going to get the right pace set up. It's Maker in the Claiming Crown. 5-1 on the morning line seems fair to me. Give me numbers.
6, 8, 11, 4.
11, 8, 1 for me in the $125,000 Claiming Crown Emerald on opening day at Gulfstream. Bet this nice card with a DRF Bets account. Sign up at bets.drf.com. Receive a 300% deposit match. Approximate post time for the Emerald, 4:34 on Saturday. Good luck.